Oh my God, that took a minute for sure to get all that technology together. Look, I have multiple glasses on. Isn't that cool? I'm also on 2 different platforms at once using 2 different phones. How exciting. I am not sure how fast TikTok will shut me down talking about things like cannabis oil, but I get the same questions all the time, and I think it would be really helpful to answer some of them for you. Okay, so like I wanted to talk about different ways that people can use cannabinoids when they are living with life-threatening illnesses like cancer and other debilitating diseases. Okay, I'm getting all these notes on here. A lot of my clients, a lot of you guys over here on Facebook and stuff, you guys reach out to me. You ask a lot of the same questions about suppositories, and I kind of want to just clear up some things for everyone. You know, like if I can, just shed some light on a couple different topics. Hopefully I can see comments if you guys drop them into the well, so to speak. I was hoping that I could also be live. So many places to be live from. Oh, here I am. I'm live right there. How cool. How awesome is that? Oh, but I can't do that because then I will hear myself. I'm not sure how fast. Okay, let's see if I can see these. Right there. I just wanted to first of all say hello to all of you who take a minute or so to, you know, drop in here. I know on TikTok y'all last less than 40 seconds. So this right here is a high dose. Some of y'all know it as RSO, but Rick Simpson is a dear friend of mine and was one of my mentors for a really long time. And he absolutely hates it when you guys call it RSO. All right. So let's call it what it is, which is fully extracted cannabis oil. That's what it is. And this, because it's clear, this is a BHO pool. All right, and that means that it's pulled from butane, not from alcohol, and that is just one of the different ways to be able to pull out the cannabinoid profile from the medicine and give you a better opportunity to heal, because although burning the sacred devil's lettuce is awesome, it is not going to give you the healing that you're looking for, especially if you are living with a life-threatening illness. So I'm really going to ask that you guys help me, hello my darling Renee, and that you move this information out, because a lot of people are like, oh, I really want to do that. I really want to, you know, use an alternative form of healing, and then they don't know what they're doing, and they end up on the internet and they buy from scammers. And that breaks my heart, because usually if you are in a position where you're already financially pressed and then you spend a bunch of money on a product that you think is going to save your life and it doesn't, I find that upsetting, because I want you all to have what you need when you need it, and you know, be able to make a good and informed decision. So we preload our medicine for people who are living with life-threatening illnesses like cancer. And the reason why we do that is because I'm sure if you've heard of the RSO, then you've heard of the other miscommunication that you need to take 1 gram a day. This is a 5-gram syringe, okay? Each one of these grams has over 750 milligrams of the beautiful tetraediol, or sometimes known as THC. That's what we all call it, right? So if you ate a whole gram of this, you would be face down for multiple days, and you'd probably throw up. So we put it into these tiny little things called suppositories, and we encourage people to do rectal dosing. Now, I'm going to stop right there. We're going to talk about rectal dosing because there's a lot of misinformation about it, and people will say, that doesn't work. You can't put it in your butt and make it work. You got to put it in your mouth. Well, I have been doing this for almost 20 something years, and I'm going to tell you why using it in a way that through your rectum is a little bit more efficient for your body, provides more healing than to, you know, eat 1 gram of this and be face down puking your guts up for a few days because you're so high. So When you use a suppository, our suppositories have around 350, 400 milligrams in each one of these little syringes. And we encourage people who are living with, life-threatening illnesses oh yeah, thank you for those hearts. I love it when you guys show me that you're actually listening to me. It actually makes a difference to me and makes me want to come on the live. Anyway, so if you can get 3 of these in your body and then we pair it with an oral infusion, you're getting into your system around 1,000 milligrams of cannabinoids a day. And that is really what you're boofing. Exactly. Twigs, that's right. And that is what you need to have a healing dose of cannabinoids, because I like to say that, the 5-finger healer is always helpful no matter how you use it. If you are fighting a life-threatening illness or debilitating pain, it's always going to help you. But to really get the biggest, as you'd say, bang for your buck, and you really are using it as a depletion method or instead of something else like chemotherapy, then you absolutely have to have the highest level of cannabinoids you can stand in your body every day for 3 months to 1 year, depending on what you are living with, what you're going through, and how resistant to this type of medicine your particular situation is. So, one of the reasons why I absolutely love rectal dosing, or boofing it, as they say, is that, first of all, if you do it correctly and you don't go more than 1 inch into the rectum, so that would be about that much on the tip of this syringe, it does not go to your liver, you do not get high. So you are able to use a fully narcotic concentrate to really help your body heal without getting high. And, I like to say I'm the only drug dealer with the clientele that doesn't want to get high, because, if you have to go to work, usually if you are living with some kind of illness, you are not at the luxury of having all of the money and care, and you are, you have to go to your job. So when you do it this way and you don't go more than 1 inch into the rectum, first thing that happens is it absorbs within 2 to 3 minutes. That's why we don't encapsulate it. So just so you know, on a different note, if you are encapsulating medicines and you are either boofing them or swallowing them, you are losing a large percentage of that medicine because your body has to break down the encapsulation. And this is not just with cannabinoid products. This is with vitamins and anything else that you're doing. So liquid over all things. If you could take your vitamin supplements in a liquid way, you're going to get a much better result than if you're taking 50, 60 pills, because remember, you are a house plant, and the more you put in, the harder it is for your little body to function. All right, so back to this. So when you use a preloaded syringe like this from us, or if you make them yourself, I don't care, just take care of yourself. It absorbs within 2 to 3 minutes. So if your system evacuates, you've still gotten all of the medicine in your body, all right? And then the first thing that it breaks is your lymphatic system. So I don't have a lymph chart here in my office, but I'm gonna get one. So if you don't know, your lymphatic system runs through your entire body. It is the superhighway that feeds the nerve system. So when the medicine hits the lymphatic system, it's basically shot to all 4 corners of the body, or we're really a star. So all 6 corners, right? Your mind, your arms, your legs. So it just goes everywhere. And then the next place that it's going to break is the blood-brain barrier. And it's like a slow drip into your blood system. And this is why you don't end up balls to the walls high. This is why you're able to take, up to 1,000 or more milligrams a day of cannabinoids and still be able to drive your car, go to work, take care of your kids, and give your body an opportunity to use this particular type of medicine in a way that will actually function, you could function, and it will help you. People will ask me, well, how many doses is that? Well, this is 1 dose. All right. Now, one of the guys that works for me asked me if he could take some of these home, and I was like, yeah, go ahead. And what did he do? Did he use them the way that they are intended, which is rectally? No. He shot that whole thing into his mouth. All 400 milligrams of cannabinoids. So I asked him, when did you do that? He's like, Friday. I'm like, when did you come back to normal? He's like, well, by Monday, I was still feeling the effects of it, because you take that much in, it's going to take a long time to roll through your entire blood system. But when it's slowly seeping into your system, you're not getting that boom kind of feeling, and your body is able to absorb the medicine. So one of the ways that you can teach yourself in real time what I'm saying is accurate is go to one of your plants and take a hose and just pour all that liquid, like just let the hose go on the plant, and then notice how the dirt starts to lift and spill over the side of the container, and then all of a sudden the roots of the plant are floating, and it's possible you're gonna lose your plant because you've overwatered it. But if you put a slow drip feed on your plant, it's going to get that little like microdoses of water, if you will, just little micro shots of water. And that is going to help your blood system absorb the medicine, just like it would absorb the water. And you're not going to have that big, like over the top feeling, and your body can absorb it. And then you're going to want to use it again. Because the deal is, if you are using something like this in the quote unquote RSO family, which there is no such thing unless Rick Simpson himself made your medicine, it is always called FETCO, fully extracted cannabis oil. I don't care if you pulled it with alcohol, or you pulled it in a BHO machine, or you used CO2 to extract it. At the end of the day, you're going to get a cannabinoid profile that the plant has been pressed either with alcohol, gas, or air. That's how you do it. That's the only way to do it. There's no other way around it. And then the clearer it becomes, there's secondary processes that we do to remove fats and waxes and things that are just necessarily kind of like in the mud around the cannabinoid profile, so we could raise it to be what we actually want it to be. That is my dissertation on why you would use a suppository. And yes, this is one dose, because we want to get as much medicine into the human body for a long period of time. First of all, cannabis only is active in your body for 12 hours. That's it. After 12 hours, it is no longer providing that boom healing. All right, it's dissipating after that. So that's why we're like, do 3 doses a day. So you're constantly low drip feeding your body. Whoever is sending me those hearts, I really appreciate it. I love it when you guys show me that you're listening to what I'm saying and I'm not just talking to the air. Because my whole desire and goal in even coming out here and sharing this information is to give all of you who land here, whether it's for 45 seconds or 4 minutes, some tools, some information, so that when you go into your world, you are armed with knowledge. And then this way, you're going to be able to make informed decisions. You're going to be able to pick products that actually serve you. And you're not going to get ripped off at the dispensary level. And you're not going to buy from some joker on Instagram or over here on TikTok or Facebook who's, selling you a bag of goods about RSO and how you have to take a whole gram a day, blah, blah, blah. No, not true. Okay. So just like anything else, this is a plant. All right. It is not a, there's somebody in this feed named Jaleesa. I have a person who I love very much in my life named Jaleesa. I know it's not you, but it was just nice to see that name. So I hope you have a good day. Anyways, you're a plant, and the slower you feed yourself, the more consistent that medicine that drops into your body is, the better you're going to evolve, the better you're going to heal. And when people, this is also not an instant cure. Like they're in the Rick Simpson conversation, I think it's 60 grams in 90 days. And like Rick was one of my very first teachers. All right. Like I've known him since 2005 and been in the conversation with him since then. And I can say that as a medical community, we have come such a long way and we have so much more knowledge. Like before, if you have not seen it, run from the cure. All right. Take a minute and go look at that archived that information, it's not so valid anymore, because at that point we really thought the higher the cannabinoid profile with THC, the more healing it was. But what we have learned, because it's an evolving science, is that we need to have the whole C family, all of the cannabinoids that start with C: CBD, CBG, CBN, CBC, CBT, CBGA, all of those molecules really make a massive difference in how our body heals. That's what I want for you guys. I mean, we need to heal on so many levels. And, I'm not going to say that chemotherapy is bad or your doctors don't know what they're talking about, because one thing I know about cancer, having worked with it for the last 20 plus years, is that it is an anomaly of cells. It's an anomaly of cells. It does not care what you did, who you are, where you come from, what your genetic background is. It doesn't care. It's just going to come for that cell system. It's also intelligent. So this is why when we're making our medicine, we're using a multitude of strains. First of all, everything that we produce in our environment is coming from 3 of our different family farms that are in 3 different parts of California. And because of that, the Sierra Nevadas, the Golden Triangle of Mendocino, and then Humboldt County, because of that alone, we are getting this diverse terpene profile, because the dirt's different in all those places. It's all different. And then when we bring all these different plants from all these different farms together and we process them, the full plant, we're getting a whole variety of cannabinoids in it. And that's really what does the healing, is the super, the back end of the plant. So back to it's got to be 95% THC. Well, no, it doesn't. It needs to be the whole entourage effect, because you, my friend, wherever you are at, wherever you hear this, you are a house plant. That's what you are. You are a mineral composition. You are not a meat suit. You are a spiritual being having a physical experience. The higher the truth, the simpler the action. And in this way, when we can come into alignment with things like plants and minerals, we provide our plant-based, mineral-based body the opportunity to grow and to heal. So, thank you, Vanessa. I am a wealth of information, I know, and that's why I'm here, because I am like an encyclopedia full of, this information, cannabinoids and psychedelics. I've spent and I literally mean my entire life has been in these families of teacher plants. And on that note, I want to just drop in on, they are teacher plants. And sometimes teachers teach you really aggressive and tough lessons, which is why we need to always be respectful to the medicine and not be flippant with it, because you are, like I said, for the 20th time, a plant. And when we ingest our own kind, minerals and plants, they come into alignment with our body. And the clearer we are in that intention, the more healing we actually get. So I don't really have much more to say about that. I'm happy to field any questions that you guys have. I know that this is still, I'm always surprised at how many people are still just learning about this, just learning about the power of cannabinoids, and how much misinformation is just out there circulating. So my goal is just to completely give you as much information as I possibly can, and share, so you make good decisions. But if you are living with a life-threatening illness and you need to be doing, 500 to 1,000 milligrams of cannabinoids, I definitely want to recommend the suppository form. Now, we do it like this because it's just like kaboom, and then the medicine's in the body. If you're going to put it in a capsule, then please get the frozen bullets from Amazon that you make those suppositories in your freezer. So there's no breaking down of a gel cap. There's nothing extra for your body to do. The more you can just really embrace you know, like the simpleness, the better. I'm really glad somebody is on my other feed over here on Facebook telling me that their dad is doing well, still no chemo or conventional treatment, stage 4 NSCLC. And I mean, I wouldn't be doing this if things like that were not true. I mean, every day my mind is blown on how many people that reach out to us that use our protocols are able to actually delete the disease in their body and to live longer and recover even from chemotherapies. You know, like, there ain't no shade on you. However you need to heal yourself, that's what's appropriate for you. And that's something I really just want to get across. Thank you for the hearts. That, you know, there is, like I said, cancer is an anomaly of cells. It has no rhyme or reason. It moves into, out of form. It finds the weakest part of your body. It locks itself in. And also, cancer is not a way for your body to hurt you. Cancer is actually your body's way of trying to help you. And I know that that's a really contraindicated kind of thought, like, oh, this disease, I have this disease. There must be something wrong with me. I've done something wrong. My karma is bad. Please, none of that is correct. None of that is true. You have done nothing wrong. Oftentimes, cancer is genetics, and 100%, you have no choice. I mean, you did not create yourself. You know, you were created by other people. You were not able to choose your genetic line, right? The things that we can do for ourselves are eat well, you know, drink clean water. One of the best ways to raise our immunity, because that's what cancer is. It's an autoimmune disease. And the more we raise our immunity, the better we are at fighting it off and keeping it out of our body. 2 ways to raise your immune system immediately: laughter. The more we laugh, the more joy we have in our life, the stronger our immune system is. And y'all are going to love this one. Sex. Yeah. Sex. Good sex, not BS sex, not like, you know, bad sex, but good sex, consensual sex. So like I always tell my clients to go have funny sex, you know, because that really does help them. There are some things that I have seen not work for people, and I will die on this hill, so you can come for me however you want. Juice fasting, water fasting. These have never worked for any of my clients. In fact, everybody that has gone that route in my clientele, and I have treated well over 30,000 people at this point. Those people that do those hard lines, the juice fast, the water fast, things like that, they die. They always die. They do. And they starve themselves. So you are not going to heal through deprivation. We do not heal that way. Depriving ourselves does not heal us. Yes, there are some times when we have to correct our lifestyle, where things like fasting is appropriate or changing up our diet, appropriate. But water fasting for a month? No. Juice fasting for a month? No. You have to feed your body. You have to give it juice. Like live juice. You know, I like to encourage my clients to make soup. You know, soup is an awesome way. It's 97 degrees. That's the temperature of your body. You know, cut up, start with bone broth, because we all need that. We are, you know, got incisors. You know, we're not usually vegetarian. And I'm not saying that vegetarians aren't cool and that you can't heal by being a vegetarian. All right, that's not, don't misinterpret what I'm saying. But you are 97 degrees if you're healthy. And if you are drinking something that is just juice that you pulled all the fiber from, and then it's only 70 degrees, you are making your body work harder to get that nutrient. So make soup. Put little tiny vegetables in it. Put whatever you want in it. Make it simple for your body to digest. But you have to eat. We heal ourselves through nurturing, not through deprivation. Deprivation does not heal us. I mean, like, it doesn't heal you. There's my favorite, one of my very favorites is on. Hello, Chronically Chill. I love that. She is chronically chill. She chills me out every time she reaches out to me. So I want you guys to really understand that you are plants, all right? I started whole food smoothies a few weeks ago. That's awesome. Whole food. That's great. Chew it. If you're chewing it, there's a thing that goes on when we chew it. We release saliva. We send a message to our body. This is nutrition. I am getting nutrition. That helps us heal. These are the ways that we heal. So it's about healing. It's not about, and I always tell people, like, the people will call me, reach out to me with, their situation. And I always tell them, like, you're going to die. Like, straight up. Wasn't that chick from Iowa, the senator, like, we don't have to worry about it, you're all going to die anyway? Well, it's not about whether or not you're going to live, because 100% we're all going to expire. That's the basis of who we are and what we are. Carbon-based beings with a century, we get 100 years, maybe a little more if we're lucky. And, if we can get to the 90s or the 80s, then we've had a great run. So we are here to stay alive, and we are here to enjoy our life. Enjoy our life, not deprive our life. People, when you get a diagnosis like cancer, it is like getting hit by a bus. 100%. It is a devastating information, and our brain cannot comprehend everything that we're being told. Which is why when you go to your doctor's offices and you start having conversations with your oncologists and stuff, I highly, highly, highly encourage you to either get one of those plod recorders, record on your phone, bring somebody with you who can take notes. And if your doctor is like, you can't record me, well, get a new doctor. Remember, your doctor works for you. You don't work for them. Just because they went to medical school. And oncologists are a special breed. Like, I really like to talk about I work with oncologists all over the world, actually. And I think of them as like pro sports people. They're like, because I used to work in pro sports. That's where I had the bulk of my career, was in the NFL and the NBA. And just like those guys that play football and basketball, they've been training for that sport to get to that level, that professional level, since they were like 9, 10 years old. They had to do all that to really be able to get there. And oncologists are the same. They have been training to be an oncology doctor since they were in elementary school, because not only did they have to get a phenomenal set of grades to be able to get into medical school, then they had to go through their residency, and then they had to go to their secondary education. And what's bred out of our doctors, unfortunately, is compassion. They're not, and I understand, because I work with people who are in precarious situations all the time. And when I first started doing this work, 15 years ago, I would get off the phone with my clients and I would be devastated. I would be crying, because I'd be like, oh my gosh, how do these people live with all of this? And I had to learn that fourth wall. Unfortunately, when you go to medical school, you really learn that fourth wall. Like, you learn it to brick it out. And I always call ethics how to scare the shit out of your client. All right. So because of our medical system, our doctors are only allowed to speak to us about a few things, right? They can't really, come forth, and they don't really learn off the path that they're supposed to learn. And that has to do with insurance. Okay. That doesn't have to do with them. But now what I have seen in the last 15 years, I used to have doctors call me and say, I'm putting my license on the line, reaching out to you. And now they just refer their clients to me. I love that. As our younger doctors come out, it's way better. It's way better. They're way more open. They're understanding. They're seeing in real time that these ancient ways that we've used to heal ourselves actually work. So, that's right. Say it louder in the back. You can fire your doctor. You can fire your doctor 100%. Like Chronically Chill, you guys should check her out. She's been in the medical system for many, many, many years. I'm sure you have fired a doctor or two. If you feel like you are not being heard by your doctor, get a different one. Get somebody different. Somebody who you feel connected to, and record those conversations, or bring an advocate with you, because it is impossible for any of us to receive that information at that level and be able to process it while it's coming at us. When we're talking to somebody who is like a robot, you know, who's just like, you know, looking at a piece of paper, well, blah, 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 blah. We're going to do 12 rounds of chemo, and then we're going to follow that with radiation, and then after that, we're going to do surgery. And you're sitting there like, what? Where did you get lost? You know, where did you get lost in that conversation? Probably with the 12 rounds of chemo. And then you're agreeing to things that you don't even want to agree to. You know, and this is just what happens in our medical community, because we are all trying in some way to improve our situation. And our doctors, you know, we can't be mad at them. We just have to get the ones that come into alignment with what we think. And the more research you do on yourself, the more due diligence you guys do when you show up, the better for you. I mean, I don't know, I know that people are viewing this from all over the world, but here in America, you know, if you ain't educated, don't expect anyone to help you. Just don't. Don't expect your oncologist to know anything about nutrition. They didn't learn that in school, especially oncology. Oncology is chemistry. It's chemistry. They're chemists. You are not a chemical compound. You are a person. You are a living, breathing plant person. Okay? So that's all I have for you, unless y'all have some questions. I really enjoyed visiting with you. Thank you guys over here on Facebook. You know, if you guys over here on TikTok don't know, if you want to jump over off that old app, you know, that one that's like the one of the faces, and you follow my business, Swan Apothecary, you're going to get more information like this. I can't believe TikTok let me stay up here. Like, that's amazing. Usually I get shut down on this app like the minute I say the word. So remember, this is called fully extracted cannabis oil. Unless Rick Simpson made your oil, it's not RSO, okay? This is a suppository, and if you're going to use rectal dosing, just don't go more than 1 inch into the rectum, all right? And you will not get high. You will be able to do hundreds of milligrams, 1,000 milligrams of cannabinoids a day, which will give your body the best opportunity to fight whatever issue is going on with you. All right. Peace and blessings to all of you. Thank you. Thank you all for joining me. Everyone who just dropped by, I appreciate it so much. I hope that you got something out of this. And I really hope that you take whatever information you're finding here and you become your own advocate for yourself. All right. You are the greatest gift that you give another person. I say that all the time. Your life is valuable. There are more people than you realize that love you and rely on you. So please take care of yourself and be fucking kind, man. Be kind to yourself first and foremost. Knock that shit off in your head about how you did something wrong. If something's going on in your body, it is your body's way of giving you a warning sign and trying to help you. All right? You did not do anything wrong if you get some kind of wacko disease. It's an anomaly of cells. Every single one of it can happen to any of us. All right? So clean water, good food, enjoyment, laughter, and sex. And I'll leave you on that note. See y'all later. Bye.